Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the Hoop Hogs Video Mailbag. I'm Curtis Wilkerson with Inside Arkansas and the Pod at the Palace, where we do our daily Q&A, where Razorback fans have Razorback basketball-related questions, and I do my best to answer them. We post one of these every morning. We're trying to do it all the way up into the start of the college basketball season. Let's see what we've got today. Comes from Bobby Andrews. A recruiting question. I'm surprised we haven't had more of those, to be honest with you. But he says, what's up with the 25 class? We have Acuff, and that's it. Seems all the guys we've been linked to who want to play for Cal are all going to UK. It makes no sense. I don't know, man. I mean, the two guys that Cal recruited who committed to Kentucky were both from Kentucky. You know what I mean? Like, they were in-state kids. Malachi Moreno, I thought Arkansas might have pursued a little bit harder just because he visited campus under Muss, and obviously Cal recruited him at Kentucky, but that didn't happen. And then Jasper Johnson, I'm not sure that Calipari really prioritized him much at all once he came over to Arkansas. So I don't know that I necessarily consider those misses by any means. Kentucky does have some post-visit buzz with Caleb Wilson, who's obviously a priority target for Arkansas. Top 10, 5-star, but that's not unexpected. I mean, there's going to be post-visit highs every time a guy goes somewhere. And so, yeah, fair to say that, maybe some momentum that they didn't have before or whatever. But at the end of the day, I think if he visits Arkansas, and I have reason to believe that that's going to happen sooner rather than later, I think they've still got a really, really good shot at getting them. So, Arkansas's prioritized him, or Calipari has, for a long time, have been the clubhouse leader for a long time. And I get it. When you see guys visiting other places and everything, you start to wonder if the tides are turning or shifting or whatever. And like I said, there's always, momentum and excitement post-visit anywhere. But I still like where Arkansas is at here. And like I said, assuming they get him on campus before he makes a decision, I think they really got a really good shot at landing him. So, and then like Darius Acuff, he's the highest ranked player in his class who's come off the board. So of all the commitments in the 2025 class, Arkansas has the best one so far. So I get it, only having one guy, but it's still super early. We're nowhere even close to the early signing period or anything like that. So, I really wouldn't sweat it too much. I think ideally, if Cal was to take three guys, it would be, Acuff and Caleb Wilson and, another 5-star guard and Malik Thomas. That would probably be best case scenario for them. Malik Thomas, again, another 5-star top 10 guard. He's scheduled to be here. When is he coming? Tennessee. I think he rescheduled it to the Tennessee football weekend. So that'll be a great atmosphere, an awesome atmosphere. And Arkansas's had some momentum for him. So it could be a heck of a backcourt if they're able to pull that off. And then there's contingency plans, right? Arkansas, I think plan B, or maybe next up in the backcourt, would be Kingston Flemings, the Texas guard. I think he's top 20, maybe number 18 in the consensus rankings. And Arkansas is in his top 5, and he's got some other schools in there. So I've heard mixed reactions on whether or not Arkansas would really be at the top of his pecking order. I think that they would probably prefer Thomas, because that's the guy they've been pursuing, a long time. But again, they have plan Bs in place, I guess is what I'm trying to say. If things were to fall through, they're still in on 5-star big man Chris Sinek from Link Academy right up the road in Branson. He visits next month, and he's got the entire SEC on him, I think, at this point. But plus Houston, I think, would be another one on him. LSU has been one that's been in there. It's been perceived as a favorite, but Arkansas is pursuing that as well. And you never count John Calipari out with anybody. And they also just put a recent offer out in the class, a high 4-star in Shauna Bayev out of Florida. And, it's a guy who Cal's been out to see. He's been in the gym checking in on a lot of these guys, and so is the rest of the coaching staff. Maybe some ground to be made up there with Abayev and maybe even Chris Sinek, but neither one of them have been on campus for a visit yet. And it's worth noting that both of those guys, by the way, visited Auburn last weekend, so they were in Jordan-Hare Stadium watching Arkansas take it to them. So I don't know that they care about that or what that means, but at least the football program is doing their part on impacting the atmosphere at Auburn while basketball recruits are in the stadium. So you'll take that. So an assist maybe from Sam Pittman and the Razorback football program to John Calipari there. But I think people are probably getting a little bit worked up maybe over the Caleb Wilson thing. And I know like other guys they had committed or tweeting at him and everything like that. That happens everywhere with everyone. So I don't read into it too much. Sometimes I like to let it marinate for, a few days or a week and then kind of check back and see if some of that post-visit high has kind of worn off and died down. But you got to get them on campus and get across the finish line there. But I think there's a realistic possibility that Arkansas could finish with Acuff, Malik Thomas, and Wilson. And if they do, that's going to be hard to beat in terms of the best classes in the country. But even if they have to dip into that next wave of guys, I mean, like we mentioned, between Flemings and Chris Sinak and Sean Abayev, like there's just really, really good options. Cal's going to get his guys. I think he's going to take 3 in this class, maybe 4, depending on how it shakes out. But either way, he's going to get his freshmen. They're going to be super talented and they're going to be just fine. So I wouldn't panic about that. I wouldn't panic about them only having 1 commit right now, because it has been a little bit interesting in terms of the lack of top end guys who come off the board early on. Like a lot of times you'll see maybe right after Peach Jam where guys start to say, hey, I'm ready to make my decisions, or maybe I'm going to take a few visits and get this done before I start my senior season of high school ball. But that just hasn't really been the case with this class for whatever reason. But you got the best of the bunch who's committed already and a lot of options to work with and a lot of guys with very important upcoming visits. And, if they get beyond these visits and you don't start seeing, list trimmed or commitment date set or whatever, then if you want to, turn up the antennas a little bit, then fine. But right now, wouldn't worry about it. I think they're going to finish with a top 10 class and they're going to be in a really, really good spot. So appreciate the question, though. As always, this one came from YouTube, which I like to see. We've been getting a lot of them off of Twitter and in the DMs. Starting to see more and more trickle through on YouTube. So make sure if you got a question, throw them at me. Okay, there's nothing crazy, nothing off limits if it's Arkansas basketball related. On my Twitter profile, you'll see a thread that's pinned at the top, the Hoop Hogs Video Mailbag. You can throw them in there. Hit me with the DM, get in the YouTube comments. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, Inside Arkansas. We've got a playlist, the Hoop Hogs Video Mailbag, where all of these things get uploaded daily. You can go back and listen to the ones that you missed. So appreciate the interaction, the engagement. I'm going to get out of here, but we'll be back in the morning with another episode. It's been Curtis Wilkerson with Inside Arkansas and the Pod at the Palace. Everybody have a good one.